How are we supposed to have a successful show if you can't figure out the equipment? I don't know how to fix it. Do something. I'm just going to hit it. No, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. Oh, crap. Someone's coming. Hi.
It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes with Tony and Newt and this other person.
So, Newt, we had a fatality recently.
Yes.
I came in today, and our Zoom F4 audio recorder that I've been using for several years now, that's very reliable, was broken.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what happened. But you know what was weird? The RoboCop and the Turbo Man toys were in different positions from where they were when I left yesterday. I wonder if those two things are related. I guess we'll never know. But Newt, I'm very excited about today's episode.
Yes, why is that?
Because finally, someone I can relate to. We have the frustrated gamer here.
I don't know which camera to look at, so
Any
I'm
of
just going to
them.
talk to you guys.
Any of them.
That's the wide, and this one's on you. And it's so good. I usually do these reviews with like low lines over there, but
Yeah,
it's cool.
I mean,
It's like a fellow
Yeah.
famous YouTuber, equally famous YouTuber, right?
Two very
here.
famous people.
Two very,
Yeah.
not to brag, but I'm almost up at 37,000 subs. Could you imagine waking up tomorrow and seeing you have 37,000 subs? That'd be crazy, right?
I think I'd cry. I mean, but
Because you'd be so happy.
Yeah, tears of
Oh
joy.
my God. So I'm glad we can relate. Please excuse Newt. He's just a guy. I threw him a bone.
Can then we tell everybody that we told him, oh no, James is totally going to be here soon. Just wait. James ain't coming. So you're stuck now.
yeah. Sorry. In case you thought this was rental reviews, it's not.
No.
I didn't. I was prepared.
So yes, you wanted to talk Toy Story 2, but real quick,
Yeah.
what do you think about Toy Story 1? Why are we skipping to Toy Story 2?
So it is funny you say that because when I was told about this podcast, which by the way, thanks for having me on,
Oh, of course.
Thank you for coming.
I was told Toy Story by Paul. I
Yeah.
don't know if they know Paul. And I was like, oh, great. So I got, Toy Story all ready to go. And then I looked a little closer and I was like, Toy Story 2.
Wait, where
I
did
was like,
2
have
come
you
from?
talked about Toy Story 1 already? Or did you just skip right to 2?
Well, because we did Ghostbusters 2. We did Fast and the Furious 8. I like to keep it interesting here.
Okay, all right.
Plus,
I thought there was a specific reason we
How about
jumped to 2.
how about it's also like the second highest reviewed movie ever on
really?
IMDb?
So it's
and-
rated higher than Toy Story 1?
Yeah,
Wow. Because it's...
I think
Spoiler, I don't think it's as good as Toy Story 1, but wow.
I liked it.
I actually
Wow.
like it better than Toy Story.
I don't know if I liked
Really?
it better,
Yeah,
but I like
yeah.
Okay, well, Toy Story 1, I was telling people here at the office earlier who were not around when Toy Story 1 came out.
I know.
I was telling them, like, that was a game-changing movie. Like,
Yeah.
the 90s
yeah.
were, like, you had Jurassic Park, totally changed the game. Toy Story totally changed the game for animated films. Then Titanic just, like, destroyed
Yeah.
everything. Toy Story 1 was huge. And I watched that movie a lot. I
Yeah.
loved that movie growing
No, that's
up.
one of my favorite Pixar movies. It might be my favorite Pixar
Yeah,
movie.
it still holds up today. Some people critique the animation, but
I've
it gets
only-
a pass.
I've only seen
No.
it once.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater, and I've never
Well,
seen it again.
you know what's funny about that? I got a little older. Toy Story 2 came out. I saw it in theater, and I went, that's okay.
Yeah.
And then I never watched it again until yesterday. I've only seen 2 and 3 once.
So
But I didn't hate it. I liked it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I didn't want to rewatch it. Whereas the first one, I rewatched it a shit ton.
Yeah. So I was 7 when Toy Story 2 came out.
Okay.
7 or 8, something like that.
Okay, I was like 9, yeah.
Okay.
Newt was
working-
mid-30s.
I was
at that
working at a
point.
movie theater when it came out.
Yeah.
So same with you. I saw it, I think when I was like maybe 8. I didn't see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't seen it since last night. Fell asleep 10 minutes in, which had
That's a
nothing,
good sign. Good
nothing
sign.
to
Good
do with the
sign.
movie. I promise it was nothing to do with the movie. I just
No, I've had that. There's certain like stuff that I really like that I cannot watch.
No, I just fall asleep at 10 o'clock every night.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
All right.
Woke up this morning, watched the entire thing. Actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun revisiting it. Is this the same director as the first one, John Lasseter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could also tell this movie was coming out the same year as a Star Wars movie.
It was coming out the same year as Episode 1 and a few years after the trilogy was released.
Yeah.
Because let's just get right into this movie. The opening credits, the credits are like Superman the movie and Star Wars. There's a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ton of Star Wars references.
So bring it, Buzz Lightyear lands on like a planet and like you got the Darth Vader freaking breath.
I
Like,
love the... Going back, I rewatched the opening sequence of all 4 of them.
Yeah.
All 4 of them have almost an Indiana Jones MacGuffin style opening
Yeah.
action sequence, which is great. It's this thing that's totally unrelated to the plot, but allows them each time to show how far the computer generated.
Did the first one have that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't even remember how the
Yeah,
first one started.
each of them have but it shows you we're so far ahead of the last one now. The CGI is just so advanced.
Between Toy Story 1 and 2, there's a noticeable jump in the animation. Like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Because the first one, I was watching it yesterday, and they're like a little floaty, a little like at the time. It's like, what are you gonna do? That's like what they could do at the time.
What was the first one? 91?
No,
95. 95, because they make fun of it in this one.
Yes,
they make
that's
fun
right.
of it later on.
Yep.
And then we see Emperor Zerg, and I got like a flashback as soon as I saw Emperor Zerg. My sister had one of those motion activated toys. But like we both got them that one year. I think I had a Phantom Menace like droid. But it's one of those like you walk into the room and it would be like, I am Emperor Zerg, and it would just like talk and it'd be like, it reminded me of the Dennis Leary stand-up thing where he's like, don't buy the toys with the noise.
Yeah.
I remember like my mom would like walk past my sister's room at like 11 at night and you just hear, I'm Emperor Zerg, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God.
Just wouldn't stop.
It's like, just turn the thing off. Turn the goddamn thing
I think
off.
it's so funny when they're in like such an intense like scene,
Yeah.
in the opening cutscene, and then they'll kind of like break the fourth wall a little bit and show how like it's just a toy shooting little styrofoam balls.
Yup,
It's just like
yup.
boop, boop, boop.
And
Really
as we
robotic.
as we learned from the movie, that his styrofoam ball gun just has endless ammo.
Yeah,
It
I
just
noticed
fires
that
a
too.
million
Oh, yeah.
balls.
And actually, when I was watching this yesterday, I'm like, oh, this must be Andy playing, and this is what he's imagining. But no, they're playing a video
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. But then you see it's on a Super Nintendo, and you're like, no, that doesn't work.
No.
Those effects don't. Where do you think Frustrated Gamer? Do you know a lot about games?
I mean, I know
Okay.
I'm not a genius here. I don't want to like if you're putting me on the spot, but I mean, I have a Super Nintendo in my house. I actually just played Donkey Kong
Oh, really?
3 the other day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My
By the way,
girlfriend's
we have
obsessed with it.
Donkey
This was
Kong Jr. is
donated
my
by a
favorite.
fan of ours, Ben Molsky. This is Toy Story and Sega Genesis. You wanted me to stream it. I never got around to streaming it, but I have played it. It's a very good game.
But
Looks
what was
fun,
the
yeah.
lifespan on the Super Nintendo? That was already past
By
that.
By
99,
99, it was
Yeah.
the 64.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
all
It
right.
would have made more sense.
Yeah, I was trying to
to be
think what
64.
system from Nintendo was popular at that point.
Yeah, I
so.
wonder if it was actually a Super Nintendo. It might have just been made to look like a Super Nintendo. Because
It was-
look, they did have some real licensed toys in this. So.
Yeah.
It looked
Yeah.
exactly like, I don't know. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
but I like this little story arc that they have for Rex where he needs to defeat Zerg.
Yeah.
And he can't defeat Zerg. I'm like, all right, it's funny how they sprinkle it in throughout the
Yeah.
whole film.
Yeah.
By the way, Toy Story, I forgot to mention, this is a universe where I assume the devil put a spell on all of Earth's toys and condemned them to a never-ending living death.
Yes.
It would be horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
so all the toys are alive.
I thought Toulon built them from the Puppet Master series because later on in the movie when the guy comes in and he redoes Woody, they wasted a perfect opportunity to have William Hickey do that guy's voice.
But I will tell you who they got later
Yeah.
on. But yeah, no. So all the
have
toys
you ever
are
seen the
alive.
Puppet Master movies?
I haven't,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't take long to watch them. There's 50 Puppet Master movies.
Yeah.
I'm estimating. You know
So if I
what?
start now, I might finish sometime.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we have 5 over there. If
Okay.
you want to, I don't know if you got to watch them in order.
Toy
We can
Story
sign-
5 might be out by the time. Yeah.
We can sign you up for a membership card to hack the movies video.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So the toys, I don't understand the magic that makes them live. They have thoughts and feelings, but then some of them think they are the characters they're pretending to be. That was a
Yeah.
big thing with Buzz.
Yep. The intruder buzz.
Yeah, but like do they all have that at first? Is that like a growth thing that they have to get past? And then what counts as a toy? Because in this scene, Woody is missing his hat.
Yeah.
And they're sending like Morse code that they know how to do. The
To a
piggy bank knows how to do.
To a garden gnome.
To garden gnomes. And I'm like, okay, wait. So are garden gnomes toys? Are they
Is everything alive? Like,
I don't know. So
Yeah.
are they also demons? Because I'm assuming they're all demons and monsters.
This could also take place on that same Earth, like in Twister, where the sun never goes down.
yeah.
Who knows? You know.
we reviewed Twister with Bill Paxton.
sun was always up.
Yeah, we realized we were thinking about it. We're like, wow, this is like a 28-hour-long day, and then it had a 2-hour night, and then it went back to daytime.
So it's like that Twilight
about
Zone,
right.
the Twilight Zone episode where the Earth is just moving closer to the sun every day. It's like that one.
Yeah, so I'm real confused as to what is a toy and what isn't.
I mean, if you remember, I think in Toy Story 1,
Yeah.
Buzz does believe he's actually, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
he was the same way as the intruder Buzz was in this one. And
Yeah.
then I guess Woody and the rest of the toys kind of like showed him like, hey, look, your laser's just a
But
light. And this and that.
do they all have that? Because then the aliens don't realize they're toys.
You're
They
right.
think they're aliens.
Yeah.
What are the rules?
Maybe it's just Andy's little group of toys
Except
that know.
in the end credits, the outtakes, they know they're actors. Like
that just raises way more questions.
I was laughing so much how they actually like went out of their way to animate bloopers.
Yeah.
And then is like Tom Hanks' character just like
Yeah.
like was that a mistake that Tom Hanks' character had and then they
And they
animated
just-
around
That's
it?
what
or-
I was thinking
Yeah.
on some of them as
Yeah.
well.
I love Tom
was
Hanks.
funny, though.
Tom Hanks, great actor. A lot of our younger viewers, they only know him as Chet Hanks' dad. But we
That's
know him
right,
as
yeah.
Tom Hanks, great actor.
I don't even know who Chet Hanks is.
You know
Oh,
what?
shit.
You know what? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But I
let's
think
just-
this
let's
is
just
going to
say-
be a good summer for us, is all I'm
Let's just
saying.
say Tom Hanks has 4 kids, I believe, and Tom Hanks wishes he only had 3 kids.
Chet, the youngest one.
Not the youngest, but he took a different career path.
Okay.
Yep.
So what I really like is Mrs. Potato Head shows up. They deliver on the cliffhanger from the previous film where there's a dog and a Mrs. Potato Head.
Yeah.
And it's Estelle Harris.
Yep.
Which is George Costanza's mother, and I love Estelle Harris. Like, her voice is very grating to everyone else, but I've
Yeah.
watched so much Seinfeld. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I love that voice.
So speaking of Seinfeld, I think what's it, the game or the toy collector was Newman.
Newman.
Yes,
Yep.
it was
Yeah.
Wayne
Okay.
Knight.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
Wayne Knight,
Yep.
who looks like people we know.
Yeah, he looks like a guy that we're good friends with.
Yes,
He kind of
A
looks
guy-
like Newman in a way.
Yeah, a guy who might have even dressed up as a Wayne Knight character in a skit we did. But yeah, Wayne Knight is Big Al from Big Al's Toy Barn,
Yep.
which was also teased in the previous
Yes.
one. And in this one, Woody and Bo Peep are like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember that being like a thing in the previous film. So now,
Yeah.
so the toys are also capable of love and relationships.
Of course. I mean, yeah, what would you expect?
These movies are
This is
teaching-
real life,
So
man.
so
Yeah.
whatever entity gave them a soul also gave them free will, and then they choose to just be children's playthings. Again, this is a real deep universe.
Do you think that the toys have like their own belief system too? Is there like a toy god? Like,
I wouldn't be shocked. Like there's 10 or 15 different toy religions. And, yeah.
that's what leads to the war that's led by Arlie Ermey's
and then
army guys. Like,
that leads to like the Cars universe just killing all of humanity.
Yeah.
I've seen like there's insane Pixar theories
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
all connected. And they're like, yeah, all these things are sentient, and then they made robots, and then they took over, and the cars destroyed
Like it's all
of
the
Earth.
same
would that take
universe.
place
Yeah.
after? Would that take place after Wall-E then? Because humans left the Earth.
Or like humans left the Earth because of the cars taking
Oh,
it.
true. It's like
I don't
it's
know.
Pixar's Maximum Overdrive.
The dog.
Yes,
The dog shows
looks
up.
terrible.
Yeah,
The,
it does
the
look
model
weird.
on the dog and the guy driving the luggage cart later. I was like, ooh,
The
that's
dog
good.
didn't match the
No.
the
Yeah,
rest
at
of
all.
the movie.
'Cause
It almost was
everything-
too realistic in a way.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
like exaggerated, even the humans. And then the dog looks too much like a real dog. where
Yeah,
it's like,
that's what it
nah,
was.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. Don't like it. Don't like it. But he's best friends with the toys.
Which is funny because in the original scene, you think he's coming in there to kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
tear him up.
Yep.
But now I need to know, are dog toys sentient in this universe? Because that also
I hope
that,
not.
that brings up
Or-
a lot of questions.
I hope not.
Sex toys. They're like, why? Why was I born this way?
But no, I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh wait, dog toys are made to just be ripped up. I'm like, oh my god, this is a children's film, and I'm overthinking it.
That would not be a good life. Like you just wake up, it's like, man, a dog
Yeah.
bone. Like really, that's what I had to be. I couldn't be like a
Which
Lego.
is a little bit of the first movie when the alien thinks like, I'm gonna go to my new life, and then
Yeah.
it's just a dog toy gets ripped out. But yeah, so Andy comes in, he's playing with Woody, he's going to cowboy camp. Is that a thing?
Never heard of it before.
I've never
but-
heard of Cowboy Camp.
So how old is Andy
You have
in
your
this
phone
one?
on you? Oh damn! I was gonna
damn
say
it.
Google cowboy camp.
I have my phone. I could Google it.
No, don't do that.
Okay.
Because it might interfere with.
And
this.
we're gonna-
if
Oh,
they're
gotcha.
too close to the.
And I
audio.
think we're gonna find things that we don't want to, that we
Yeah,
can't
you know what? I
unsee.
feel like we're gonna. If you look that up later, put safe search on. Yeah, so he's playing with Woody, and Woody's arm rips.
Mhm.
He just ditches him.
Yeah,
He's
put
like,
him on the
nah. He's like, oh, you're broken. I forgot, and throws him on a shelf.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll probably fix him later. It's
So
probably
if he's
not that
alive
hard.
though, and his arms exposed like that, that'd be like walking around with an open.
Yeah, he
wound.
never is like, ah!
What-
Handles it like a champ.
If it's a bold stylistic choice by Pixar for the rest of the movie. All of Tom Hanks' lines are just, "Oh God!"
I'm going this way the entire time. He's just grimacing.
Yeah. So then Andy leaves, and then we get what we find out is a nightmare sequence, and
Which
this
is awesome.
this has been memed to death. The I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like a big meme.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
But it's
Oh, I forgot that was a dream. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that was just weird.
It was
yeah.
a dream.
It was so bizarre too, and like the idea of him like in a like on a pile of body parts of things that are
Yeah.
alive,
Yeah.
and then they all form together like something out of a fucking Cronenberg movie and grab him, you know?
It reminded me
Yeah.
of the newest Spider-Man movie when Mysterio is like messing
Oh,
with
yeah.
Spider-Man. He's making
Yeah.
like zombie Iron Man, and he's
Mhm.
doing all this stuff. I'm like, wow, did the new Spider-Man movie rip off Toy Story 2?
It's Disney. Well, to
That
be fair,
is
to be
true.
fair, Toy Story 2 is just the Brave Little Toaster.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
the same story, you know?
Never saw it.
You never saw the Brave Little Toaster?
No,
oh,
I
it's
feel like I'm
great.
missing out on a
yeah,
lot of these
it's a
things.
really good one.
Are kids still scared of the air conditioner dying in that movie? Wasn't that like
I
a
don't.
thing?
Do kids even know what it is anymore? Just old people like me know it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, young popular YouTuber, do you know the Brave Little Toaster? And you're like, oh, I really shouldn't have come here today.
Yeah, please, sir, stop talking to me.
Yeah. Can we put that plexiglass here like they did for COVID?
Yeah. So toys can dream.
Yeah.
Do they have a brain that? Like, I don't understand the toys. And I know there's a million comments right now because I got this with Space Jam where they're like, you're overthinking it, you idiot. It's just a kid's
yeah.
movie. I'm like, well, I need to know the rules of this
Yeah,
universe.
But the,
Like,
the in-world logic of Toy Story feels more realistic than Space Jam.
yes.
I fucking hate Space Jam.
Yeah. People were shocked you
It
weren't in
does
that
seem more
episode, but you
realistic.
really did not.
No,
wanna
I
talk-
would have been way too mean if I was in that episode. I couldn't do it. I hate that movie.
God forbid we're mean about a movie.
I know.
By the way, we're recording this on the anniversary of Ghostbusters 2. Check out our Ghostbusters 2 review.
Yeah, we did Ghostbusters 2, and how dare we say that it wasn't as good as the first one?
Yeah.
And people were really
killed you?
upset. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was getting like threats in my DMs on
Yeah.
Twitter, and I'm
You
like,
know, this movie that's been universally panned since the day it came out, people now decide it was good.
Well,
How did we
it's-
know?
After a certain amount of years, every movie's great.
Like-
That's
oh,
kind of the
okay.
rule.
like
yeah.
the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, well, the Star Wars prequels are good now. I love the Star Wars prequels. They're great. They're great, right? Right?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Greatest movies ever.
Yes, and only Disney ruined Star Wars because it was perfect before then, right? Right? We're
Is that the narrative right now?
We're trying to avoid getting
Yeah,
more
just go
hate,
with
so
it,
we
yeah.
love the prequels are terrible, but we love them. We love
Okay,
them.
yeah, they're the
People,
best movies
people
ever.
like you. They don't like us. Just please. Just go there.
So then this gets sad. We find out that there's a penguin named Wheezy
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
up on the shelf, and he's like, Wheezy, you've been here. He's like, yeah, my squeaker broke.
these guys covered in dust.
Mhm.
He
Yeah,
looks
and
he
he's like,
hasn't
they
been touched
left
in a
me
while.
here. He's like, why didn't you say anything? He's like, I can't scream for help. I'm like, that's horrifying. He's like, ah! I'm
I
like,
feel like that annoying sound that he made though would have been loud enough that someone would have
Yeah.
heard him though.
What's that thing? It's like I have no mouth.
I
yet
have no
must-
mouth and I must scream.
scream.
But yeah, the mom comes in. She's grabbing stuff for the yard sale. Poor Wheezy.
Wheezy
Poor
gets
Wheezy gets
picked.
in there. No toy left behind, apparently.
Yeah.
How much are you gonna get for Wheezy at a yard sale?
I
Like a
don't know.
broken penguin covered in dust. Like that's got to be going for what, a nickel?
If that, they're like, here, give this to your dog to chew up.
Like at
Yeah.
that point, just throw
It's
'em
weird
out,
the
right?
mom didn't give it to the dog to chew.
True. You know who might have known that they were sentient was the doctor that came in and kind
Yeah.
of
Oh
stitched
yeah,
up
yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that actor. I love that
Great
actor.
stuff.
Yeah, so they're going on a rescue mission. So like at some point, like no toy ever leaves Andy.
No.
At some point, doesn't his mom just go like, I really thought I got rid of these toys. How did
Oh,
they
yeah.
Keep
how
coming
did
back.
more show up?
Yeah.
Like, is
Yeah,
that
new
why-
ones that she's never bought before.
Mhm.
They're on the ground.
So
yeah.
Andy's dad is missing. is he like, did he catch on to the toys and go crazy? And he's
Maybe.
He was drinking too much, and he's like, the toys.
He's
Toys. You never make love to me anymore. The toys are moving and they're
He's
talking.
like, listen, Aunt from Roseanne voicing the mom.
Mm-hmm.
The toys are alive. She's like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
she
need
just
to.
thinks he's crazy.
There's like a dark prequel of like Andy's dad with like a flamethrower. Like, I need to kill Woody, and Woody's just like sitting there.
little cotton ball coming out
Yeah.
of his shoulder. Yeah.
But at some point, the mom's got to be like, I got
didn't
rid of
buy
this.
these, or I threw them away.
It's like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I put Wheezy in the box and never, and because spoiler, at the end, the squeaker gets fixed. Shouldn't she be like, I don't understand what's going on?
You never
here.
came home with like other toys when you were a kid, like you'd be playing at somebody else's house and you would trade, or like somebody would put something in your bag, you
I
know?
guess so.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you just nailed it. Because
Yeah.
the whole time I was thinking, I was like, well, spoiler alert again. At the end, when the extra couple 2 toys come, Bullseye and what's her
Jessie.
name?
Jessie, yeah.
Mom's. I was thinking like, how is mom
But
gonna
he
see
came,
this
yeah,
thing?
he came back from cowboy camp and somebody maybe gave him those.
and
you
it
know?
lines up with cowboy
Yeah,
camp.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
guess you could explain it that way.
I think that's a great explanation, actually.
I stole a toy when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
My mom told me, I don't even remember. I was like 2 or 3, but there was a Pee Wee Herman doll in like a
Pulled a
store.
string?
That's the one you picked.
I don't even remember this happening. I was very young, but apparently like I like picked it up and was just like walking around the store, and then like got back in my stroller, and just no one noticed I had it.
Oh, you were in this. I thought you meant you stole it from like a friend's
No.
house.
You
stole it from a store.
I stole it from a
Oh.
store, and I was like
Well-
super young, and everyone just, I guess the people there just assumed it was my toy.
Yeah.
And then like my mom apparently she like took me out of the car, and she's like, "Is that Pee Wee Herman?" She was like, "Why do you have this?"
No, I think this was a racket that you and your mom were running.
Yeah.
That you guys were like going into stores, like, oh no, that's his. Look at that little Italian baby.
He's like, I don't remember taking it because he
Yeah.
didn't. Mom
Well,
just gave it to him
You know
afterwards.
what? You know what I think happened? The toy was alive,
And it
was
got
like,
in there
It was
with
like,
you.
"Hey, Tony,
Jumped in
I'm-
your hands. Or
I'm
something.
gonna be your best friend. We're gonna go on so many adventures together, and
To
I'm
the
gonna
porn-
watch you
the
grow
porn
into
theater.
a man, and we'll
You.
be, yeah, we'll be very, very happy." You know what happened to that toy?
No.
My dog destroyed it.
Oh, okay.
My
Poor
dog, that
Pee Wee.
had, my dog that had a bad brain just decided it didn't need to live, and he killed Pee Wee Herman.
You had a dog with a bad brain?
Yeah, apparently.
What's a bad brain?
I don't
Like,
know.
What does that mean?
He was a Rottweiler. He had something wrong with him. Like
Okay.
he was just acting crazy.
Okay.
For a while, like he would like stand and just growl at his shadow because he thought it was another dog, and like my mom got like pregnant with my sister, and then the dog like tried to bite me, and she's like, "Well, that's the end of that dog. Baby's on the way. We need to get rid of this."
I don't blame your mom. Rottweilers
not at
are
all.
not something to mess around with. Like they're.
Maybe Pee Wee Herman, like he ate something from Pee Wee Herman, infected his brain.
That's right.
Well, dogs can talk to toys apparently from
Yeah.
Toy Story 2. So maybe Pee Wee said something to him.
My
that-
dog did not agree with Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, he said something that made him angry, and
My
chopped
dog
his
was
head
like,
off.
"I want your bicycle," and it's like, "No, you can't have it." Arr.
bit his head off.
Didn't expect Pee Wee Herman to show up in this. Anyway, where are we at in the movie? Yeah, so Wayne Knight, he is Big Al from
Yeah.
Big Al's Toy Barn, who is also the mascot. You think he'd just pay someone to do that, but
Yeah.
he is the
So
mascot.
did he own the toy store?
It's what
I guess it's Big
yeah,
Al's,
he's like a
but like I
collector.
thought there was a point where he got called in. Maybe that was one of the clients. Never mind.
Yeah, I
No,
don't
it was
know.
Yeah.
the people from Japan that wanted
were-
to.
okay,
yeah.
right, right.
Mhm. But it's
Um,
funny that Big Al's place looks like. I used to live in Norwalk, Connecticut for a while. I got brought up there to do security for a theater, find out who was stealing, get rid of a bunch of people, and then hire a bunch of people. And there was like the world's largest like milk place there. It was like a supermarket, but it was well known for its dairy, and it looked like that on the outside. So I didn't know anybody there. The staff hated me, and I was trying to fire them. So I would just walk around there like a sad human being all the time, you know?
You're like George Clooney and Up in the Air. They just hired you to fire people.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
So you were like an investigator kind of. You went in there and like
I had-
you befriended these people, and then you found out that Jim
I
was the
had
one
to go
stealing.
through.
or-
I had to go through 3 months worth of security footage, then call in
Oh,
people
okay.
to interview them,
Oh.
and all this kind of stuff. And then on top of that, hire a new general manager to take over so I could go back to my real job. It was like this whole thing, but they paid me really well to go in this because I had kind of taken care of a problem at another theater of ours. Some guys faked a holdup, and they stole all the night deposits from this other manager.
Wait, so they faked the holdup?
And then it turned
They were
out that
both in on it.
yeah, but it was like Goodfellas, like they couldn't keep it quiet, you know. So
Did you find some guy in a meat locker with a fur
no,
coat?
that'd be great. They had to wait for him to thaw out to do the autopsy. Like
Wait, so they faked the whole... We should do that.
I know.
Oh my God.
That's brilliant.
Then, again-
we can't tell them.
And then, like Goodfellas, we can shoot Tony in the face like Joe Pesci, so you can't, your mother can't give you an open casket.
We'll make sure to cut this part out.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
won't
I'll
make
put
it
a
in.
ski mask on you, and you'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
like, "Give me all your money, store," and I'll be like, "Oh no." Okay, we'll do that later.
But
That was
mon-
good acting, by the way.
Yeah, with that.
The
Very
money-
convincing.
what is-
I'm a very good. I don't know if you know this, but
Well, you're famous like me.
yeah,
So,
I'm famous
right?
like
We're
you,
famous.
and I have acted in a movie called The Dark Knight Rises, the best Batman movie.
Wow.
Just want you to know. If you have a copy, I'll sign it for you.
I don't have one, but I'll buy one just so you can sign
Thank you,
it.
thank you so much. So Wayne Knight, we keep starting on Wayne Knight and getting derailed.
Yeah.
He sees Woody because Woody is trying to save Wheezy, and he like gets left behind.
Can I interrupt you again?
Yeah.
You mentioned it earlier really quickly. This guy owns a toy store. It looks like a relatively successful toy store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he the mascot outside?
No, and it's even weirder. At
Pay
the end.
someone like $5 an hour. This was 1999.
Yeah.
$3 an hour to do that.
It's even weird. Yeah, like the guy who owns the mattress store doesn't go outside. The guy who owns the tax place doesn't dress up as fucking Lady Liberty outside spinning the sign. That's not how it works. Now, our friend Justin and Penelope own this awesome retro toy store down by Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And they do all the ads themselves, but they're the face of it and they don't wear silly costumes.
Yeah.
Plus they get like other like famous people to come down
well,
and be
and
in
if
their
you're the
ads and
face of
stuff.
it, that's
Yeah.
fine. Like if it was him, but you got the costume on,
Yeah,
you
and
look ridiculous.
and everything's just a buck,
And it's
buck,
not
buck.
even like
Yeah.
he enjoys the costume. He seems to be miserable.
Oh yeah.
Especially
So, yeah.
at the end when he's crying and they just left it in. No one behind the camera, like even you, would go, "This doesn't look right."
Let's turn
And
this
you're
off.
not very good at your job. So
But yeah. But no, you like the owner would not do that.
No.
You would get an intern to dress up like really stupid and go on the street. No,
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
we have so many costumes that you're going to wear and stand out there.
Anyway, so he sees Woody and he's like amazed. He's like, "Oh my god, I finally found a Woody."
Yeah.
Don't clip that.
No.
Anyway, he's like,
Keep
I
that
finally,
in.
he finally found a Woody. And he's like, "Oh, he's a little damaged," and he's trying to buy it from the mom. Mom's like, "Oh, wait a minute, no, this is not included in the
Yeah.
sale."
Which credit to mom. I thought she was going to be like, once he said like $5, I thought she'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, all right, sure. It's broken. I expected that. Credit to her.
$5 is $5. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
And then he went up to 50.
Yeah.
She said no again. I mean, at that point.
And this is where, so Andy's mom knows the value of this thing, which leads into the
did she?
theory. Well, I mean, she
Well,
knows
no,
it's a
she's-
family.
I thought
like a
she just
family
knew that
heirloom.
Andy loved
But
it.
there's a theory online that Jesse's owner was Andy's mom. And in the Sarah McLachlan song, that was Andy's mom in that. And so the Woody may have been her brother's toy, if we go by that logic.
Yeah.
So that, because then the boy and the girl toys, you know?
Yeah.
So it would have sentimental value, which also, so the husband's missing. Something probably terrible happened to her brother, like childhood non-Hodgkin's lymphoma
Woody's like, "You're
or
not
something.
getting rid of me like you got rid of Jessie." But yeah,
So Andy's mom would have been, what was it, Emily? Is
Yeah.
that-
I guess
so.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
a theory.
Yeah.
that is a theory, yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, so Wayne Knight just steals him.
Oh, yeah,
He
just grabs
like,
him.
Just steals him.
Picks the lock, right? Because she put it in like a locker.
Yeah.
And then just grabs
And then the
it.
other toys are like, "Oh no, Woody's gone. We gotta save him." Buzz,
Yeah.
because Buzz was like, "Well, Woody rescued me. I have to save him." now."
Yeah.
He's like a
yeah.
Wookiee, like a life debt, like Han Solo and Chewbacca does. You
Yeah.
know?
Just follows him at his hip
Yeah.
for the rest of his life.
Yeah. But yeah, so Al brings him back to his apartment, puts Woody in the place there, and then he's got to drive all the way to work
That
on a
was funny.
Saturday. All the way to work. There's a Twitter account that's literally just that.
I can't believe I have to drive all the way to work on a Saturday. All the way to work.
Every Saturday, they just post the video of
All
him
the way
going,
to work.
"I gotta drive all the way to work on a Saturday. All the way to work."
And it's directly across the street because I looked at it, was watching it, I was thinking of Tony. Tony lives right up the street.
Yeah.
And he's here on Saturdays a lot. And I was like, oh, it's a lot like Tony.
You got to drive all the way to work on
Tony,
a Saturday?
Tony is a lot like Wayne Knight. Yeah.
You're
Yeah, because he's got that
fired.
apartment right
So
across the
fired,
street.
you asshole.
I'm more like Wayne Brady.
Yeah, so Woody, he's in the new place. He's scared, and he like gets confronted by a horse
Mm-hmm.
and then a crazy cowgirl
Yep.
Yeah.
who is Jessie,
Jessie.
played by Joan Cusack.
Jane Cusack. Yep.
Yes, and then he meets the prospector, Stinky Pete, who is Kelsey Grammer.
Yes.
And then he finds out, it's like, "Oh wow, so here's another thing. So he knows he's a toy. How does he not know he's Woody from Woody's Roundup, this famous TV show?"
Well, if he was,
Good point.
well, again, it's like if he was a family heirloom and passed down,
Okay.
oh yeah, no, it wouldn't make sense because
I mean, these guys know Morse code. You don't think they're gonna know their past?
They know a lot. Like
Yeah.
they have a lot of information on things, and like, don't they know what they're based off?
Jimmy-
of? Like Buzz Lightyear knew everything about his backstory.
I
Like,
mean, it's written on the side of his box. I would assume Woody
it's
had
like-
a box.
Did Woody forget?
no, Jimmy Smits had them wipe their memory like the end of episode 3.
Which is a great movie. It's a great movie. We all love it. We all love episode 3, right?
Mhm.
They're
Oh, yeah.
best.
Yeah.
The part where Darth Vader says no and it sounds terrible is actually really good.
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like, all right, so Woody doesn't remember he's Woody from Woody's Roundup. That's a little bizarre, but then the other toys do.
Mhm.
But it leads to a great scene where he realizes he's famous. And
Yeah.
Oh,
loving it.
that whole sequence is stunning.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, think this came out that long ago. I forgot about it. It's like they went extra on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Big
But
time.
The stupid show,
Mhm.
like they had to animate the puppets to look like actual puppets and flop around, and they
Yeah.
had to animate the straight. So they had to animate puppeteers puppeteering.
Yes.
Like there's so many levels
Oh,
there.
yeah. It
I'm
was like
wow.
Toy Story Inception.
I was just
right
gonna
there.
say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and then I found out like
Oh.
apparently like the animate like they had to change the rules for like animating movies like because apparently a lot of the animators got repetitive stress syndrome from this.
Do you also
Oh,
know
really?
the story behind this movie? How it almost didn't get
No.
released?
No.
Apparently, someone accidentally deleted all the work that they had done, and some intern had the last files. And this was because it was deleted like right up to the 0 hour. And some random woman, I saw like a Watch Mojo video about it or something. Some random woman just so happened to have the last rendered out version of it, and they flew her that back to the to wherever they were making it, and they had to just go from there. But it was gone. Like
You think Pixar would have like a backup
Like
file? Like
backups
put it
of
on
it.
like an external hard drive.
When I
or
heard that
something,
though, I
like-
was like, "Can you fucking imagine that?" Because we had an issue not too long ago where one of our editors deleted all of our audio.
You know what's funny? Today I deleted all the edit files for tomorrow's episode on accident.
Do you see the organization that I'm looking for here?
I
But
run a
we found
rinky-dink
out-
vlog, and
yeah.
I save my vlog in 2 spots.
Well, then
Pixar doesn't.
Basically, what I'm saying is, will you adopt me? Will you adopt a 39-year-old man?
We found out though that we have a fail safe in our server. Like
Mm.
it gets sent to like a recycling bin, and then the person try.
Okay.
You think, although who knows what it was like in 1999?
Well,
so
that's
you
a
think
good
they would have had
point.
a
Yeah.
fail safe
Yeah,
like
that's
that?
I mean, like a 128 megabyte stick would have been
Mhm.
like a room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then apparently this movie was going to originally go straight to video. It was going to have
Disney was big into that in the
yeah,
90s.
it was going to have Woody going to Japan to where there's like a recall, and he goes to Japan and he meets all of the other recalled.
the initial plan was to actually go to
Wait,
Japan.
wait,
in it?
I
yeah,
think-
well,
I think Toy
Buzz
Story,
Lightyear.
Toy Story 3 was the recall.
Was it?
Plotline. Yeah,
Because
that they
all right,
dropped.
because part 2 I know was supposed to go direct to video.
Yeah,
And
because they
then-
did that a lot. We probably have.
But they had like some real big
Oh,
movies
yeah.
that went
Yeah.
straight to
Yeah,
theater. It wasn't
there
like
was a Lion King
yeah.
2, and there was an Aladdin 2.
Yeah, they it was
Homer
like this
Simpson.
racket that they were running.
Homer
They
Simpson
were
was
like,
the voice
wow.
of the genie.
I guess they figured they can sell more if
They
it
were
goes
like, wow,
right to
we
video.
put all this money into the first one. Everyone loves it. Let's kind of half-ass the second one. We'll
Yeah.
get the same amount of profits from it because everyone will buy it,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Whereas if it
And-
came out in theaters, maybe it would bomb.
It
and
would-
they don't-
yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Smart move.
it's weird that they were going to attempt that with this.
Mhm.
I'm glad they did it.
No, me too.
Because the animation would have been way worse. Would have looked like Beast Wars.
God. Reboot.
Yeah, so the other toys are going to go rescue him.
hmm
And I like that they think he's at Big Al's toy barn because they
Yeah.
know the guy was Big Al.
Yeah.
Because they could just they have pattern recognizing memories and stuff.
Well,
apparently.
clearly they remembered the Big Al commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So
come
the
on.
Etch and Sketch is
But when they're
also sentient. I want to
Yeah,
talk
but
about
when
that.
they're
he's
try-
awesome.
When they're
man.
trying to figure out the Big Al thing, they're flipping through the channels,
Mm-hmm.
and all the clips are the old original Pixar clips that you see as they're
Oh,
because
that's
there's the
funny.
baby
I
and,
didn't
and
pick
the
up on that.
yeah. I was like, oh, that's great.
That's cool.
So yeah, Woody finds out that he was the last thing they needed in the collection to be
Mhm.
a complete set.
Mhm.
I feel bad for the prospector because he's been in a box the whole time. He's
Yeah.
never been opened.
Although he kind of hops out whenever he
yeah.
wants.
Yeah.
I don't know how he puts the tape back on.
Didn't
But whatever,
Stinky
yeah.
Pete reminded me of Whistlin' Willie though from Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
I
Remember
don't
the
watch
Whistlin'
Aqua
Willie
Teen.
doll?
I don't.
No.
watch Aqua
Oh. And then they get another one who's David Cross, and he's a divorced balding guy with a knife for a hand, and he's a doll, and he bullies Whistling Willie into killing himself.
Oh my god!
I didn't see that
Whistling.
one. But yeah, so they're planning to go to Japan to be in a museum. He's like, we're all together. We're gonna be in a museum, and everyone's gonna love us forever. And Woody's like, what are you talking about? I belong to Andy. And like Jessie just starts freaking out because of that. Because we don't
really
know her
flips the
backstory.
switch. Yeah.
Yeah. But then Al accidentally rips off Woody's arm, and he's very upset about that. So he calls a guy to fix it. And then we get a nice transition here with like Buzz Lightyear. He's like trying to motivate all the toys. He's like blah blah blah, and then the American flag shows behind him, and then it transitions into. The movie doesn't have that many weird transitions, so that one like really stood out to me.
I want to believe that's what they took that scene from Punisher Warzone for. Remember when Jigsaw is like giving all the gangs a speech and the American flags behind him for no reason?
Oh my god, that movie.
I like that movie.
That movie was something.
It's like Saw with guns.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Punisher Warzone.
The third live action Punisher movie, if you count the one from the 80s. So the scene where Woody is trying to navigate around the Cheetos to get his arm back is just as intense and suspenseful as the heist in Mission Impossible, where he goes into the computer room. I was just like, probably the most memorable scene of that film.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, I was actually getting like tense. I'm like, oh man.
Oh yeah, the heart rate was rising. Like he steps on a cheese curl and like Big Al kind of like rustles.
But how did he drop that bowl? Like the scatter pattern made no sense.
Yeah, it didn't.
Also, the amount of cheese curls on the ground. I mean, he would have needed like 7 bowls.
Exactly.
Big
Yeah.
Al, and look, I can say this because I'm a larger person, but Big Al, you gotta change your diet, buddy.
He's a large individual.
I know this might be pot calling the kettle black, but not really, because Big Al is way worse than me.
He's huge.
It's like, dude, you gotta lay off the Cheetos, dude.
Yeah, Big Al,
or at least work on your hygiene a little bit.
But Big Al is animated and you're not, so you're way worse off because you're real and you have to live with that.
Wayne Knight might be thinner than me now.
I know. I saw him.
He got that lap band, that cheater.
Oh.
Is that covered in our insurance plan? Can I get one of those?
We should both get one.
We should
Yeah.
get those. Anyway, but someone turns on the TV, and it's like, oh no,
We don't know who it is.
we don't know who
think
it
it's
is.
Jessie.
But
Yeah.
Woody thinks it's Jessie because
Yeah.
she was mad at him, and they get into like a little tussle.
Mm-hmm. It's weird that she's in this movie and she's also in the movie Toys, where she plays a robot.
That movie is terrible.
It's not good.
It's visually striking because it's like, wow, there's a lot of really good visuals, but the story and characters are abysmal.
But it has that famous trailer where it's Robin Williams standing out in the middle of the field doing the "Let's go out to the lobby" thing.
And then he does Boys in the Hood and stuff.
That's right. And the only reason I
Can
remember
we do Toys? Does that rank?
I don't.
Let's
Probably
talk
doesn't.
about that shit
Mike
show,
Matei
Toys.
and I have talked about that Super Nintendo game more times than anything. So
Toys. Not the toy maker. I'll be back. Wind me. Well, it's like Toys in the Hood. Studio executives, in their great insight, said, "You got a movie about toys. When's a good time to bring it out? Rosh Hashanah?"
Let me see here.
She doesn't deny it when he accuses her of turning the TV on, too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she was just kind of mad, but she was just like, I don't remember what she said, but it kind of confirmed in Woody's mind that she did turn it on.
But the prospector is like, oh, you guys got to chill. We
Yeah.
gotta stay together. We got to stay together. We got to get to Japan. So then the other toys, they find Big Al's toy barn, but it's across like a 16-lane highway in the middle of a city where all the traffic's going in one direction,
Yes.
I want to point out.
They're also driving 117 miles per hour.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Again, this is not a highway. This is a street in the middle of a city where they're all going one way, not stopping for stop
that
signs.
seems dangerous to put a toy store there too, because kids are going to see
Also
that and
true.
go, "Oh, let's run into the street," and then next thing you know, Billy or Jenny is like the fucking dude in RoboCop who gets
Toxic
hit by
waste
a car.
guy.
Toxic waste guy.
Yeah, so they decide, oh, we'll hide in these. What's the logic here? We can't be seen walking around as toys because people will rightfully destroy us because we're evil. Let's just put cones on, and then we'll just be moving cones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not sure if that's much better. That's just like, oh, the cones are alive.
And then there's like Zack Snyder, Man of Steel level of property damage that comes out of this.
I said in my
bad.
notes,
It's bad.
I think the cones are responsible for the beginning of Final Destination 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they caused that big car pile up in Final Destination 2. Which is funny because the guy who plays Slinky is the dude who played Ernest.
Mm-hmm.
And when I reviewed one of the Ernest movies on Rental Reviews, I cut him causing a traffic thing into Final Destination 2.
It's sad that dude's dead. He was amazing.
He was great.
Yeah,
He was great.
Jim Varney.
But yeah, they destroy a cement truck, and the giant cement tube almost kills Mr.
Yeah.
Potato Head.
And then Buzz, they get out, and then
Yeah.
Buzz is just like, "Oh, that went well," or
Yeah.
something along
And then,
those
like, you
lines.
just see all the
Yeah.
cars are piled up, like a freaking thing falls over. Like, wow, they are awful.
Yeah,
Like
like the dude from SpongeBob is yelling, "My leg!" But, like, everybody else is fine. The toys are just like, "All right, let's leave." It is pretty funny actually.
Well, and it just harkens back to why they have all the self-driving cars in Fast 8. They're like, we can't have this happen again, so we're gonna have all these self-driving cars. So
One thing I noticed that I don't know, it was a stupid little thing, but the light post comes down.
Yeah.
At the
At the
end,
end,
it's like,
yeah. it's
and it
just
makes
that,
like the most dainty sound when it hits the ground.
So
I thought they were gonna like really.
So that means that cement, like, sewer line thing must have rolled up onto the sidewalk and just probably killed 10 people. While
Yeah.
it's-
I mean, Pixar can't show that.
No.
Oh, yeah, I
exactly.
can't show that.
come on, Pixar, have balls. Show us the repercussions of your violence.
Hey, they get deep into the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it was a tearjerker at times.
Oh
So
man,
the-
when you get to the Jessie part, I was like,
that's
I'm
a
not gonna
tough
cry.
scene to get through.
The restoration guy shows up.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it's played by, what's his real name? Hold on. Jonathan Harris,
Okay.
a.k.a. Dr. Smith from the original Lost in
Oh,
Space.
because
He
he's also in.
reminds me of,
He's in Bug's Life.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
he is.
Oh, okay. He reminds me of a. I don't know if it's a movie or a video game where there's a scientist with like 3 hairs sticking up. That probably didn't help you very much. I didn't even give you the genre.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, Crash Bandicoot? No, he doesn't look like Cortex.
No, it's the. Okay, I remember.
Okay.
From Luigi's Mansion.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
It's the guy.
Yeah,
it's the
I know you're
scientist
talking
I'll
about.
look
I'm
up a
talking
picture
about.
of him. Yeah.
But he reminds me of that guy a little bit.
And I like the scene where he's, like, restoring him
Oh,
and
yeah.
painting him and whatnot.
But again, I thought it would have been great if they got William Hickey, who played Toulon in the first Puppet Master movie, to do that voice. And he's actually the one who brings them to life, you know, and, to fight the Nazis, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. This scene I really like when they break into Big Al's. Rex finds the Game Informer magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this reminded me of being a kid where it was like I would go look at game magazines while my parents were shopping, and I would memorize like the codes. And
Yep.
it was, like,
Yeah.
they would never let me buy the magazine.
No, but you're
Or
getting the
occasionally they
value
would,
out of it.
But I'm
yeah.
like, okay, this code is this code is this,
Yep.
and that's this. And then I would go home and like plug it into my game, like, ha,
Yeah.
I remembered it right.
Yeah, I remembered because there used to be like the what was the thing called? It wasn't Game Shark. What was the other one? The
Game Genie?
Game Genie.
Yeah.
And they had a book that would come out, and I would go walk around and like remember all those on Nintendo games or Sega
Yeah,
games or whatever,
yeah.
and then go back and try it as well. So I used to do that all the time.
yeah.
Yeah. Then they walk past some Bug's Life toys.
Yes.
So, are they in the same universe, or is Bug's Life a? Because the Pixar has a lot of shared universe
Mhm.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
Rex is in Wall-E and
Yeah.
whatnot.
You're right.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, are they all in the same universe? Because I feel like they can't really coexist. Like, I don't know if you got a Bug's Life toys. The bugs are.
I want them in the same universe.
Yeah.
I'm all about
There's-
it.
You could probably find a video right now on YouTube of how they all connect. You know.
I'm a
Who's-
sucker for that stuff.
Mhm.
Like,
Speaking of going back to SpongeBob.
Yeah.
What's the blowfish driving
Mrs.
instructor?
Puff?
Yeah.
yeah.
That my girlfriend put on the video. It was like a 3-part video. It was really long. It, like talking about her possible origin story and the crime she committed before she entered the SpongeBob, and it was fascinating.
There's some dark SpongeBob
Yeah,
theories.
there really
Like
is.
Squidward's got a couple that'll make you kind of like cringe. Yeah,
We need
there's-
like a Netflix making a murderer style documentary on that.
Mrs. Puff.
yeah. You just see like her eyes cross.
Yeah.
out of the
yeah. But yeah, so Buzz, he tries to steal another Buzz Lightyear's belt,
Mhm.
but then this Buzz Lightyear comes to life, and he's like the previous Buzz. What do you call him? Intruder Buzz?
I called him Imposter Buzz.
I just kept calling
I
him
don't know.
Fake Buzz.
Fake Buzz, yeah.
And he's like, "How dare you, Space Cadet? Why it's taking my thing?" Blah blah blah.
Because
blah.
he really believes he's Buzz Lightyear,
Yeah,
like
and
Buzz did in the first
Yeah.
one.
And I love Buzz Lightyear's like, "Oh, was I this bad?"
Yeah.
Was I really
He's like, dude, it's a light.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
They seal him up inside
yeah,
the box.
he seals him in a
Yeah.
box. Which
They even-
wait, where did they find an empty box?
Well, it was. I guess it was the other Buzz's box.
Oh,
but they
yeah.
even do the little twist ties around his arms and legs, which I was
Yeah.
like, that's a nice little touch.
I
you know?
love Toy Story
Yeah.
does a really good job of putting in those little things that no one thinks about, but you
Yep.
see it and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember twisting that
Yep,
off.
yep.
Out of the
We
box.
just bought
Yeah.
something not too long ago for The Office, and we had to undo all those, and I got tired of it, so I started cutting them all
Yeah,
off.
Yeah, someone said nail clippers work really good on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wish I knew that. Anyway,
Or we could just buy less toys because we're both middle-aged men.
Nah, that's
I don't know what you're
ridiculous.
talking about.
Yeah,
I got
that's
more
ridiculous.
Hasbro alien toys
Yeah.
or Kenner alien
And
toys.
he's got a Godzilla collection.
I have a Godzilla 98 shrine happening here.
Nice.
And I had to explain to the new people, like, it's a Godzilla movie that Godzilla fans don't even like.
And then they
I don't
asked-
even think the movie's good, but I was nostalgic for the marketing. So now I have all this bullshit.
And
I
then
have all this trash just down here.
the new people said, "What's Godzilla?" And then we had to explain that.
All right, well, not that bad, but
So I like the toys are driving around
Mhm.
in like the car, and then the Barbies are all having a party.
that's
and,
Yeah.
a great scene. They walk by and
yeah, and tour guide Barbie shows around. So Barbie was supposed to be in the first one.
Yes.
And the Barbie company was like, no, we don't want Barbie to have a personality because it's the owner of the toy should project their own personality onto Barbie, so it's more personal.
and then they saw, hey, Toy Story did really well.
yeah,
we
then
can
they were
get
like,
a
oh my
brand
god,
out
Toy
there.
Story made a lot of money. Get Barbie in there.
Yeah.
Get every single Barbie in the sequel.
Yeah. Mr. Potato had been like, I'm a married spot. I'm a married spot. That's just a great line.
And then somebody's like, "Step aside for the single ones," and like
Yeah,
pushes
yeah.
them aside.
Piggy bank.
But I like Rex gets knocked out of the car and he loses his magazine, but then he's running back to the car and it's like Jurassic Park. Like,
Yeah, that
stop it. I'm like, all right. That was pretty funny.
They also choose how fast they want to make those things, those characters
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like sometimes it's like it looks like it's this fast cutscene, and then they'll go back and they're going like 2 miles an hour,
Yeah.
and then other times they're catching up with cars.
Yeah.
Like
So Barbie has a line here, and I forgot to check if it was actually a reference to what happened with Toy Story. But
No,
this
it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
but this happens with toys a lot. They go past the Buzz Lightyear aisle, and she's like, "Yeah, Buzz Lightyear. In 1995, they didn't make enough toys to meet demand." I'm like, "Oh, that
right.
must have really happened."
Back in 1995, short-sighted retailers did not order enough dolls to meet demand.
The companies didn't, when they went to get the licensing, they didn't believe that a movie about toys would do well. So they just did the bare minimum, and then the movie came out and was just a global phenomenon. It's like Star Wars, the empty box thing
Yeah.
from Kenner.
Like, here, buy this empty box, and we'll send you the toys later.
fill it in later.
Because
And then
nobody,
they sold so fucking
yeah,
many. of
nobody
them.
ever thought when Star Wars came out, like sci-fi toys weren't worth shit.
Yeah.
So they were just like, oh well, nobody's gonna want to play with these. So and then they realized the movie was huge, so they just sold an empty box, and then kids would get them later.
Yeah.
But like it's you know.
Yeah,
it
meanwhile,
was like a toy bond.
Yes.
It was like a
Yeah.
promise.
No,
we'll give it
that's
to you.
basically what it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
and then
That's
and
funny.
Then Jingle All the Way tried to learn, and they're like, "We'll make Turbo Men, and people will buy them." And then fucking no one bought Turbo
Yeah.
Men, and that's why they're super valuable. And now they sit in we put them on the shelf here to die, like Wheezy.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He hasn't said I'm Turbo or it's Turbo time in years.
No.
Yeah, no.
And they haven't moved up like George and Wheezy.
Yes.
The Jeffersons.
That's right. But the fake Buzz joins the toys on
Mm-hmm.
their mission, and it's funny that they're just oblivious and don't realize he's not the right Buzz.
It's very obvious. They're like, yeah, we gotta like really give him a talking to when we get back.
Yeah.
What was his motivation to help them again? I can't remember.
Because he's stopping Emperor Zerg.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay,
Rex
okay.
mentions that because he's reading the
knows how-
magazine.
yeah.
He's like, I know how to be. He's referencing the video game. I know how to beat Zerg, and he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you do. And then we get Jessie's backstory. And now, Newt, you're a little crybaby.
I am a little
Why don't you talk
crybaby.
about this scene?
So-
and try not to cry about it.
So, first off, I'm a big Sarah McLachlan fan. I don't care what you guys say. In high school, I went into Lilith Fair, which was an all-female folk rock festival, and I went to go see that. I'm a big Sarah McLachlan fan.
Newt, you are a loser.
I
And
am.
by the way, in my car right now for the last 4 months, I've had Melissa Etheridge's
Yeah.
first scene.
Yeah. I like Melissa Etheridge
so,
too.
God damn it, I want to make fun of you. I'm like, that be the pot on the kettle black.
Tony, can I come to your window?
Look, my mom was big into Melissa Etheridge.
Mhm.
Okay. I know almost every Melissa
Yeah.
Etheridge song like the back of my. And people are like, "Why do you know the song?" I'm like, my mom would play it on a loop. I
And
know all
people
of her
only
songs.
know
It's
Sarah.
ingrained in your brain at
People
this
only
point.
know Sarah McLachlan now from those grief porn commercials where they show abused animals to her music.
Yeah, we're like,
But,
I can't wait for The Price is Right to come back on. Then
It's
they're like,
like-
this dog is dying and
Yeah.
it's your fault. It's like, oh, thank.
I always switch the channels when
Remember,
they pop up. I'm like,
remember
I
when they
can't
did
watch
that on
this.
South Park with the crack baby leading? So Randy Newman, who wrote all the music for this, well-known singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
he said that it was a really, really bad idea to have this song in the movie because
Really?
he said kids are not gonna to have this like ballad at this point in the movie that's gonna be like 3 minutes long is gonna take people out of the movie. Then they went to a screening of it, testing it, and Tom Hanks and what's that guy's name?
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, yeah, Home Improvement
I
guy.
love.
Yeah.
was your way to describe.
You know
Tim
what's
Allen.
great?
That one- I
Did you
didn't-
ever? Did you?
That's
Ever,
not even what he did. He did.
oh, whatever. Did you ever play the Nintendo Home Improvement game?
No,
They made
but I
a
know
Home
about it.
Improvement
Yeah.
game?
The best thing about this game is the instructions in the box say real men don't need instructions. So there's no instructions
What?
for the
That's
game.
all it says?
Actually,
That's great.
actually, if you look real close, so it's made to look like
Mm-hmm.
it blocked it. But if you actually read it, it is the instructions.
Oh, really?
It's strategically, they put the instructions
That's
around
awesome.
the
Yeah.
sticker. So at first glance, it looks like it's just screwing you over,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
actually does give you the instructions.
It's really good though. But yeah, so they went to a screening and those two cried openly, and Randy Newman's like, "Oh, I guess I'm wrong," and
Yeah.
they left it in the movie. So this is Jesse's backstory.
Wait,
And
real quick, speaking of Randy Newman,
yeah,
what I do like is I hated him in the first movie.
mhm.
Because there would be like a really nice scene, and for some reason he had to like narrate what was going on in the scene. He'd be
Yeah.
like, I'm Buzz Lightyear. I think I can fly. Oh no,
Mhm.
I can't fly, and I'm your best friend. And like this would be a lot better without this asshole singing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can I get a version of the movie without this?
Just mute it.
That's
Just-
not a lot in this. Like, I don't hear
No.
his stupid voice at all. And then they do the Sarah McLachlan thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd rather hear Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
it.
so it's Jesse's backstory on
Yeah.
and the song is When Somebody Loved Me.
Mhm.
And I watched it the first time I saw it in the theater, I got weepy eyed. I watched it again yesterday, and there are two other people who are in my office, and I had to be like, it's super sad. And
That
like,
song follows the storyline. Maybe
Yeah.
they wrote it around the song. I don't know, but
Yeah.
so closely
Yeah.
to what actually
Mhm.
happens.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah,
That,
she's
Like you would think the song was written for the movie.
no, no,
if
it
you didn't
definitely
know
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
I watched that scene and I went, don't care.
Wow.
Because I don't cry like
Who
Newt
who
cry.
hurt you?
Who hurt me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe every time when I was a kid and I got hurt because I fell and an Italian man yelled at me to stop crying. That might have had a long-term
Was it
effect,
just-
and that might be why I haven't cried.
Was
in
it
over
your
20
dad, or
years.
was it just a random Italian guy who would show
It
up?
was just
and
a
say-
random
Yeah.
Italian guy. He
Grow
lifted
up
my
there.
closet. He would come up. He'd be like, "Stop crying!" And I'm like, "All right." So now I watch movies, and if I get sad, I'll be like, "Well, that was very sad."
So
Anyway.
you
That was sad. Emotion.
I got tore up here one night, just tore up from the floor up, drinking whiskey since noon.
Yeah.
And then we did a review and we did a commentary track of Man of Steel.
which is available on our Patreon. You
And
can
at
check
the
it out
end
on
of
our
it, I
Patreon.
was so drunk I started crying because I'm telling the story about why the Martha scene in Batman vs Superman is so powerful, because
the
he's
scene everyone hates.
he's a god and he just wanted to save his mom.
And then he started bringing it out. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh no. And he starts bringing up his parents' divorce from the 80s. And I'm like, dude, stop it. Stop. Drink some water. Drink some water, dude. And he starts
and then because it was still my parents stopped talking to me in November and all this kind of stuff, so it opened up a lot of wounds that I didn't think I would get from watching a Henry Cavill movie. But this movie,
yeah.
what's her name? Jessie is
Jessie.
owned by a girl,
Emily.
and they're best friends. But then the girl starts to get into makeup and being
Yeah.
on the phone,
By the
like
way,
girls do.
Yeah. By the way, the girl wasn't like, she gave her to a donation.
Yeah.
Like, there's a way meaner, like,
I
to
don't know,
be
man.
this
They
bitter-
left her on the side of the road, like out by a tire swing. I'm like, what is going
Well,
on?
no, it was at a donation. It was a van.
But it was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but there was a van going to a charity.
Is that what your
thing.
parents did with that dog with the bad brain? They're like, come on, we're gonna go play. They threw the ball and then they just fucking booked it.
No, they were like, Reggie's dead. I'm like, okay. And they're like, well, let's explain death to you. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then a few years later, like, this is Max. He looks just like Reggie. I'm like, okay.
But that's kind of what I like
Oh,
about.
Reggie came back into the picture.
Well, it was Max. Like, I knew it was a different dog.
Oh, okay.
But they're like, hey,
okay.
we know you're sad about your other Rottweilers, brain turning off. Here's a new Rottweiler,
But
and that Rottweiler
Tony
was great.
Tony
Had a
was
good
20.
brain.
Tony was 27 at the time, and it took him a while to process it. But that's what I like so much about this. Actually, I like so much about all four of these movies is they handle the situations with emotional maturity, and they don't talk down to kids. That's what I hate about so many kids movies. Is it's like, and at the end, in the end credits, they do like a lot of fart jokes.
Yeah.
Which I was like, but they don't treat kids like idiots. They treat like, yeah, you're no matter what happens in your life, you're gonna have emotions to deal with. And if you sugarcoat it, it's gonna make things worse on the kid in the long run. So I liked that all these Pixar movies deal with like weightier issues, but in a way that kids can understand it. And you know,
But here's
But
my
if you're
problem.
watching it at our age, it's still
it still has
an impact.
resonance.
You don't
Yeah,
feel like, oh,
exactly.
this is just
Exactly.
This is so at surface level. It wasn't like that. Yeah.
Here's my problem though. Woody like hears this and he's all like, "Wow, that's so shocking." It's like, Woody, aren't you just as old as them? You've had previous owners, am I right? Like, how have you not experienced this?
I guess if the theory is
It
that
were
was
just
his
being
father,
handed
but then even
down?
still, you think there would be a gap.
Or again, if there's like so much emotional distress that happened from other owners that he blocks it out. It's like a defense mechanism that,
Would
he has.
that's
you know?
a very I didn't see Toy Story 4. I
It was fun.
want to see a Toy Story movie where his memories just come back and he's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, he's just like throughout the movie, he gets more flashes.
He's filling up the caps of alcohol with
Yeah.
booze, and he's just drinking out of the
That
cap.
would be
You know,
funny.
But yeah, this song moves Woody emotionally.
Yeah.
The song really moves that Woody, and he
when was the last time you had your Woody moved?
Anyway, he decides he is going to go to Japan
Mm-hmm.
with them. He's like, we can't break up the Roundup gang. We got to stick together. I'm going
Yep.
to Japan. And then the real Buzz breaks out of his thing and he follows the toys to Al's apartment.
But also the whole scene where they're driving around the toy thing, the colors on the boxes and everything felt so organic to that period. I was having like flashbacks to like Kitty City and KB Toys and stuff like that. I was like, this is great.
And then while he's doing this, he accidentally releases Emperor Zerg, who also thinks he's Emperor Zerg. So all toys just out of the box think they are what they are, is what I'm imagining.
I think that's what they were going for.
How does the prospector not think he's a prospect if he never left his box?
Well, we find out that he did.
He did leave his box.
That's true.
Now, was
That's
that
true.
the first time he left his box?
No,
I would assume
he's
he
been
had
pulling the strings the whole time.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Much like Bela Lugosi and Glenn or Glenda, he pulls the strings.
Pull the strings.
That's a reference that no one fucking is gonna get unless
I
you've seen
do.
Ed Wood. And
I love Ed Wood.
I love that fake Buzz doesn't know any of the characters' names.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, lizard man,
Yeah.
the vegetable
And
guy.
they're all like, Buzz has never said these names for us before, but now we're going to believe it's him.
And this joke was stupid, but I laughed at it. When they're like, how are we gonna get in there? He's like, use your head, and then they're just using
Yeah.
it. I'm like,
Those always get me.
What are we gonna do, Buzz? Use your head. But I don't want to use my head.
I'm
It
like,
was corny, but-
I'm mad that I laughed at that.
They really didn't drag on the I thought they were gonna like for a while be who's the real Buzz. I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but they
I also
just
thought they
like
were
lifted
gonna-
his foot and it was Andy. And
Yeah.
like, oh, well,
Yep,
okay,
there you go.
that's
I
it.
thought they were gonna fight way longer.
Yeah.
Just the toys versus the Roundup
Yep.
gang, because they're fighting for a bit, but then the toys just kind of take them out pretty quickly.
One of the other things I appreciate about the storytelling for this, because the movie's less than 2 hours long,
Yeah.
is that I like the fact that they broke the team up and like we left all the other characters
That's
back. And we
that's
just
Empire
focused on,
Strikes Back syndrome.
and that's
yeah.
what it felt like to me was Empire Strikes Back a little bit, where it's like we could just focus on this little group of people on their adventure, and then these people over
And
here.
then they meet up at the end.
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
It's
yep.
a good sequel strategy. A
Mhm.
lot of like X-Men 2 does it.
Yeah,
There's a lot
yep.
of movies that do that. You're right. The real Buzz shows up and he's like, "No, I'm the real Buzz." But Woody doesn't want to leave, and I like that Buzz repeats his thing back to him. He's like, "I'm a collectible. I'm a thing." He's like, "No, you're a toy. You're a child's plaything." I'm like,
Yeah.
"All right, that's a good callback.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
good
it was.
callback, and it's
You're
twisted."
a child's plaything. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this made me want to punch the TV screen because of how stupid it was. They really went all in on that "You Got a Friend in Me" song.
Yeah.
They really thought that song was
To be fair, we remember it.
yeah. So they're
iconic.
like,
Yeah.
here's a tape from the Woody show, and then it's him singing "You Got a Friend in Me,"
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then Woody's like, "Oh, that's the theme song of the previous film. I need to be with Andy now," and it's like,
Yeah.
that's what changed it for him. Like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
a little weird. But who doesn't let him leave? The Prospector, which we've already spoiled, has been leaving his box the entire time.
Sideshow Bob was behind the whole thing.
I forgot it was Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I just realized Toy Story 3 is Ned Beatty, and he just died.
I know.
He was the bad guy in Toy Story 3. Just died.
And
Like,
Loxo
yesterday.
Lovenbear is in Toy Story 2 as well. They show him briefly.
Oh, where?
Yeah, but he's not purple, but it's the same design.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
3, I think this is the best of the series. But 3, the scene where they all hold hands and accept their fate together, I called that scene Schindler's Toy Box.
That scene sucks.
No, I think that scene's great.
Yeah, because we're never going to review it because I don't care.
No, I know.
But no, I mentioned this many times. Did I mention this before camera or on camera? I was talking to you about it. So, all the toys are about to die in Toy Story 3. And
The lava, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lava.
Well,
I don't know many trash compactors and garbage things that have lava.
I thought it was like a giant.
No, it was a
lava-
molten steel thing.
You know how many more
Are you one of those kids that watches Terminator 2 and you're like, he put the robot in lava at the lava
Probably.
factory? You're like, lava?
Here's the
It's
thing.
molten steel.
Who the fuck is he to talk to you that way? You could have him killed.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, listen to me. They were about to go into the lava. And everyone was
now
like,
I feel attacked.
and everyone was like really sad. Everyone kept telling me the scene was going to be sad. And then I watched the movie and I'm like, well, they showed the claw. They showed the claw like 2 seconds
I know,
before.
but-
And everyone's like, oh no. I'm like, no, the claw's coming. They couldn't have projected. They literally, the director could have stopped the movie and been like, don't worry, guys, they're all going to be saved. And it would have had the same effect. Because I'm like, yeah, there was no chance of
I
them
thought
ever
there was
dying.
more human emotion in that scene than in a lot of other movies that came out that same summer, is all I'm saying.
Whatever, that movie's stupid. Anyway, back to this movie.
From the guy who has a fucking 1998 collection of Godzilla.
I'm
But
not saying
this
that
is
movie's
stupid.
good. I said I'm collecting it ironically.
And I know good film. I did write and produce Swamp Zombies 2. Have you seen Swamp Zombies 2?
I've seen it 3 times.
That see? This
I
is why
think we can agree though. It's no Swamp Zombies 1, the superior film. Newt loves to just see classic cinema and just go like, how can I make it better? And
Oh, really? Oh, you know what Tony did?
What?
Ask Tony about Hack of the Living Dead.
I feel like I'm in the middle of some sort of a fight here that is.
We have,
Look, I'm
we
just
have an
saying-
ongoing beef over who ruined classic zombie movies more.
But-
In case you don't know, Hack of the Living Dead, the original Night of the Living Dead is in public domain, so you
Okay.
can do whatever you want with it. So I edited me and my friends into the movie, and it's some people would say that Hack of the Living Dead is one of the greatest parts of that film, or one of the greatest zombie films.
So this is the last time we're ever going to see you, right? Like, you're never coming back.
I'm ready to run off the set right now.
I can't wait
he's
for the-
making fun of me about lava. You guys are like having a fight. I feel like I'm in between.
Now
a
I'm
fight
scared to
between my
watch
parents.
your vlog. You're like, hey guys, I just found out Toy Story 3 didn't have lava. It ruined my life.
I just got bullied for an hour. Don't you? You know what? Unsubscribe. Leave a negative comment on these guys' podcasts.
Look, that's going to be a drop in the bucket, man. That's all
Yeah.
we get is negative comments.
Wait, you think you can send us more negative comments? Good fucking luck. But don't do the unsubscribe part. We got to keep this cash cow rolling, man.
All right, fine. No, don't unsubscribe. Just leave a dislike. That actually helps you still in the algorithm. so-
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah, the prospector won't let Woody leave because he's evil.
Mm-hmm.
And
Takes
then
his little pick and like really tight
Yeah.
screws.
yeah. And then inside the elevator shaft, they fake Buzz has to fight Zerg, and it's I'm your father.
But then he's like,
Straight Star Wars.
but I like
yeah.
after that where he's just like, he's playing catch with him.
Oh yeah, he decides like I gotta like catch up
All of a
with my
sudden,
dad.
boom, best friends in a second. Like, yeah, Luke took a little bit longer to warm up.
Yeah.
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
Luke had a couple years before
No,
he met.
yeah.
If in that moment, if Darth Vader said to me, I'm your father, and I go, well, the Empire is better equipped, they're better funded. Yeah, bye.
Also, back to Toy Story. I mean, he is shooting little styrofoam
Yeah,
balls. Like, he's
exactly.
not
Yeah.
doing anything that serious
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like,
And then the toys steal the Pizza Planet truck,
yeah.
which, holy shit, the Pizza Planet delivery guy must be like, what happened?
Where did my car go?
This is not the only vehicle they steal and get away with.
Have
just
you ever,
driving.
Yeah.
like in your day-to-day life, do you ever like in your peripheral just see something that no one else sees? Like, or like something that somebody's trying to hide, but you catch it. Like I'll be in like traffic and I'll see somebody picking their nose or something
I
like
thought
that.
you were gonna like tell us that you've seen UFOs. Or something.
No.
I thought you were going there.
I told that story already once where the first time I ever hung out with Crystal, who's a co-host on this show, she's my ex-girlfriend, we saw this weird ass light in the sky, and we were like, we didn't both want to say, is that a UFO? Because we just started hanging out, and we didn't want the other one to think we were insane. Then it turned out to be something else, but it was like, your face with those things where you see. Yeah, exactly. It's like, do I be the weirdo and this person never talks to me again? But like, imagine if you're like a dude and you're in one of those windows and something, and you look down, there's fucking toys running across the street.
Yeah. Or driving a car.
Yeah, but then you can't call the police because just like I didn't want to say something to Crystal, because everybody's going to be like, well, that person's insane, and their brain works as good as Tony's dog's brain works.
You leave Reggie alone. Yeah, so, you know what? Though it's funny, I used to work a million years ago on a prank channel, and you don't really realize, I learned from, like, doing these hidden camera pranks, most people are just checked out. Like, they are in their own little world. And like, we would do these, like, ridiculous things.
Where they just walk right by.
And it's like, anyone, like, you think if you were in this situation, like, oh, this guy's doing an act. And I'm like, oh, what a weirdo. But then people just, like, are just oblivious to some stuff. And I'm like, wow, I never really... It made me become, like, more aware of what's going around me. I'm like, is someone trying to pull something
I always
on
think
me?
that when I watch those, like, either a prank channel or something like that, I'm like, I won't fall for that. And then it's like they do something a different way. I'm like, I would have fallen for that. I totally would have, but now I won't, and I'm sure I will.
But yeah, so they get to the airport, and they're trying to find the green case that they're all locked in. And I like this reveal, which I don't think this is what
I said the same thing to my girlfriend last night. I was like, this isn't what it's like, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it? Because if it is, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like, oh, we'll just go in here, we'll look for the green thing, and there's just like a million conveyor belts. Like, that's a really good reveal. And
also, they were like one box away, and then all of a sudden they get behind, and it's like miles. And then there's like swinging axes, not really, but like it seemed like.
I looked at that and I was just like, well, Kramer was in a conveyor belt in an episode of Seinfeld. Was he in this whole thing?
Yeah.
I would have loved if Kramer was just there.
Yeah. It looks like underneath the Addams family's house, which leads to the vault. It's
Man, I hope that's what it's like. If it's like that in real life.
Next time I go to the airport, I'm going to look behind the little thing, you know?
Yeah.
So they're going to be like, oh, you watched Toy Story 2, right? Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So there's a fun...
Or it's not going to be like that, and you're going to get arrested.
It's just a dude back there picking his nose, and he's like...
So they get into a fight on the conveyor belts, and it looks like episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great. We love it.
Well, to be fair, Natalie Portman's midriff was revealed at that point, so I was more okay with it.
That was the best part of that movie, I believe. Yeah, so they're fighting. It's a pretty good fight scene, but they get rid of the prospector who... He's out of the box. He lands on a little girl's bag, and there's a Barbie there, and like, oh, she's an artist, and she's got just drawings.
It reminds me of Batman '89, where the Joker's girlfriend, like,
what was her name? Amelia, Sophia.
I don't remember, but she's like, you told me I could help you with improving the art.
Woody and Buzz and Bullseye are trying to rescue Jessie. She's the last one.
Yep.
She like doesn't want to leave. Right?
No.
Yeah. Like, she's like, I'm going to stay in storage. I'm depressed.
But again, it's like because she doesn't want to go through the trauma of losing another owner, you know?
So are toys not, like, made aware that this is going to happen to them?
No.
So whatever demon put this curse on toys...
When you're born, when they slap your ass, does the doctor go, oh, yeah, you might have cancer, and one day you have to pay bills. Bye. Like, no.
No. They're like, you have a heart palpitation. You're staying in the hospital for a week. I mean, that's what they said to me. They should have given They should have given you a heads up about that other thing.
They're like, hey, you're going to be short, not that attractive. You're going to have a really bad experience with this, that, and the other thing. And one day you're going to work with Tony. And I'm like, please put me back in.
Please, not Tony.
Please,
ignore all the other things.
Newt, at least tell me that doing this show with me and my famous celebrity friend, my best friend, is better than when you had spinal cancer.
It is better than when I had spinal cancer.
Okay, good.
So,
at least there's that.
Yeah.
There's like much better or just slightly better?
Stick with better.
We'll just say better. Yeah.
It's just better.
So yeah, they're all chasing Jessie. And they find her in the cargo hold while the plane's going off and like, huh?
I like the reaction when they finally figure everything out and then the plane goes over and they're like, let's get out of here.
The guy was just like, all right, we need to take a couple more on. And he's like, all right, we're going to go. Close. Immediately slam the door.
But they all get out and they're all happy except for Al, who's probably financially ruined.
Yes.
And I don't think he shows up in the sequel. So I think the toys really ruined that man's life.
Yeah, he's crying in,
Is
the,
he
in
in
the chicken costume.
Yeah, is
right?
he in 3 or 4?
No, because
think so.
at least the bully kid from the first one comes back as a trash man in
Oh yeah,
part
he got
3.
he got a nice municipal job with benefits. They really fixed Sid's life.
did.
Yeah,
Really.
I don't. People are always like, "Oh, Sid became a trash man." I was like, "Do you know how much trash men make and what kind of job security they have?" Fucking Sid hit the lottery.
You know how much power trash people have if they threaten to go on strike?
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're gonna go on strike. Like, we cannot have that. Yeah. So Al is ruined.
Yeah,
Presumably dead.
kills himself.
I don't know if he killed himself. Maybe he wanted that collection to pay off some mob debts. I don't know.
What if he
but
did the?
all I'm saying is I haven't seen 4. I didn't see him in 3.
I don't think he's in 4.
I think Al is no longer
He
with
does
us, and
the
I
thing.
think the toys are
I want to
complete.
imagine
Yeah.
that he dies the way that dude died in. You ever see the Dead Zone? The Cronenberg movie.
Oh yeah, I
Where he
love that
puts
movie.
the scissors in the crack
Oh,
of
yeah.
his
In the book.
bathtub, and then bam.
In the
Oh.
book, apparently, because Stephen King, much like Pixar, Stephen King's books are all connected.
Yeah.
Apparently, the serial killer in the Dead Zone, I think, I could be wrong, let me know if I'm wrong, is implied to be like the evil spirit that takes over Cujo and Cujo.
Really?
Yeah, in the
I
book,
thought it was
not the movie
okay. Yeah,
version.
because I was like, it's just rabies in the.
I think in the book there's something implied where I think there's a mention to the killer in the Dead Zone. I love how we ended up on Dead Zone and Stephen King.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned previously Stephen King did write an X-Files about a doll that comes to life, and it's a
he
creepy
wrote
killer doll.
Maximum Overdrive, which is about
Which is
inanimate
about
objects
cars
coming
coming
to
to
life as well.
All right, so
Yeah,
it's all
soda
connected.
machines and
Do you know what Stephen King's favorite part of Maximum Overdrive was from when he directed it?
No.
Neither does Stephen King.
Okay.
He was on so many drugs. He's often quoted saying he does not remember making the
they
movie.
they had to keep him away from directing the action scenes because they were worried that he was so gone that he was going to get somebody killed. Yeah,
I don't know why they let him direct a movie. Who thought that
because he was
a
a
good
massive
idea?
name at that point. Plus, AC/DC did the soundtrack for like nothing because he directed the All Night Long video.
Oh,
so they
yeah.
were like, "Oh, we'll do all the music for free for this." That movie's amazing. It has a dude who's killed by sodas firing out of a soda machine at a guy, and then a little kid running away gets run over by a steamroller. It just comes out of nowhere on a little league
Wait,
field.
did you see? Remember last year the guy hit that person with the twisted tea can?
Yeah.
Yeah. So our friend Joe
Yeah.
from Movie Dumpster, he took the scene of the vending machine killing the guy with the cans, and he digitally made them all twisted tea. So
That's really
the
good.
toys, how
Yes.
did they get home? They stole the luggage carrier.
But I like that's a fun reveal
Yeah.
because they're home and they're like, wait, how'd they get there? And then they pan to the window.
And then the next day, you see like the owners of the house are like,
Which is great because I remember
Yeah.
thinking like, oh, no one's gonna notice that.
Yeah.
And then they actually show that.
I thought about it. I thought about it. Look, I mean, not to bring up things, but this movie was 1999. This is before airline security was a little tighter than it, like it was less tight than it is now.
Yeah.
But I feel like somebody, like they have gates and stuff that you like have to pass security. How did they get the aircraft, the luggage carrier off the tarmac? And then how did it have enough gas to make it all the way? Because I imagine they don't have good mileage.
You could have made a movie like from that part alone.
Yeah.
Like just from the part they skipped, that could have been Toy Story like
It's
like
a road
2.5.
trip movie.
You know how movies have like novelizations that expand? Like we have the Godzilla '98 novelization down here, and well, no, that's actually the real book,
The real
Hannibal,
book,
not
yeah.
the Hannibal novelization. If I were to write the novelization for the Toy Story movie, they would be like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They would be gigantic and have multiple, because I would just be explaining all the things I didn't get.
Yeah.
And there was like I would just include like magic and sorcerers.
So this, like the scene where they go from the tarmac to the house, would be like
that
150
would be
pages.
like book 4. Just
Oh,
book
that'd be a
4 is
book.
dedicated
Okay,
to
yeah.
that.
What if it is like Maximum Overdrive? That's what happened. At one point, a meteorite crossed the Earth, put radiation over the Earth.
And that's
brought
how
all
Cars
the
gets
toys-
created?
Yeah, everything came alive at that point. There you go. We figured it out.
All the souls from the toys left when the curse was lifted, but then a new curse was placed and they went into the car.
Yeah, they're trapped.
Wheezy gets his squeaker fixed. That sounds wrong, but it's not. Like, that
Yeah.
sounds like I just said something weird, but
Who
it's not.
fixed it?
So, he said someone fixed it, but they're like, yeah, we found an extra squeaker at the bottom of the box. I'm like, that's real convenient.
There's no way they're giving
And then
me
does
that.
that mean like that they had to perform that surgery? Is there like a doctor toy that does that, and it's like horrifying and
Well,
like
I'm rooting
play-
for our buddy, the dude with the gray hair.
Yeah.
in the back,
But it's just
like his
like-
little like.
I just
raising
imagine
chair.
it's like, you ever see like old TV shows where like the wife is about to give birth and they're pacing in the room waiting
Yeah.
outside? Like Buzz and Woody are like pacing outside to make sure
You
Wheezy
just hear
doesn't
the
make it. And then does that mean that Wheezy's insurance checks out? Like, do they have?
Yeah, how deep does this go?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
What if it went wrong? Would one of the toys be like Frankenstein's dad and
Yeah.
the De Niro one where he just comes down the stairs going, I did everything I could. It's covered in Wheezy's blood.
Yeah.
We will be reviewing the 90s Frankenstein and Dracula at some point. Fucking Red Letter just did Dracula.
I know,
We gotta
that
wait. We
bummed
gotta
me
wait,
out.
or else we'll be like, oh, you ripped off them.
Mhm.
Anyway, they sing the You Got a Friend in Me song.
Uh-huh.
And then the movie ends with fake bloopers.
Yeah.
And the one I liked was like the Bugs Life people.
Yeah.
Which I don't even like Bugs Life.
I like Bugs Life.
Do we have that one? Do we have Bugs Life?
It's way better than Ants.
Why do I feel like I love Ants.
Really?
At the time, I remember really liking Ants and thinking Bugs Life was just okay.
Mhm.
But I was also stupid. So I don't know how it feels as an adult. But I like they're like, yeah.
I like
this
he says was.
I like that they're like, yeah, wait, this isn't Bugs Life 2? What movie are we in? It just cuts to Buzz Lightyear killing them. I'm like, oh, God, is that why there wasn't a Bugs Life 2?
They flew into the windshield when they were driving the Pizza Planet car.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're assuming these bloopers are fake. I'm assuming that the animator slipped and happened to draw this entire thing out, which happened to line up with what the actors and actresses messed up at the same time. And it was just magic.
Well, Stinky Pete farts inside of his box, thus his namesake, you know?
Yeah.
I do like that this Prospector character is voiced by, like, Kelsey Grammer, Frasier, like, who has this very refined voice.
Dr.
you
Fraser
know?
Crane, yeah.
Perfect casting for Beast, but in a terrible movie. In X-Men
Yeah, but he
3.
looked cool.
Yeah.
I like this vest.
Mhm.
Anyway, that was Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
I thought it was terrific.
I liked it a lot.
I'm never
yeah.
going to watch it again, but I really liked it.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it a
No,
lot.
I
I'm
did.
glad I went back because I forgot about it, honestly.
You know what? If because I watched Toy Story 1 yesterday. A few months back, hanging out with my girlfriend, her nephew had Toy Story 1 on. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. Like,
Yeah.
if this is on, if I'm at in a house or something and a kid has it on, I'll watch it for a couple seconds and be like, oh, that's pretty good.
And they'll be like, why
I'm not
is
going to
this-
sit and watch
As
the whole
opposed to what? Like, you would have just closed your eyes really quickly and ran out of the room?
No!
Like,
through
movie.
their
Watch Toy Story.
through their sliding glass door, and they're like, why do we invite him here? He's telling us stories about an Italian man who lived in his closet. His dog didn't have a brain. Like,
Oh, my girlfriend also
started flashing into this stuff.
When I was watching this I was watching this real late last night because I went on the Drunken Peasants podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, we usually do 2 hours. And then I wouldn't shut up, so we did 3 hours. So I'm watching this movie at like 1 a.m. and my girlfriend like comes over work. She's like, I still have my ticket to Toy Story 2. For some reason, I still have my
Really?
ticket from when I saw it in 1999. I'm like,
Really?
why do you still have that? I realized I have a bunch of tickets from like when I used to care about that shit.
I don't know
Yeah.
what happened to it. I used to have a really cool glass table in my living room, and I put all my movie tickets underneath of it,
Yeah.
and then put the glass back on
that's
top of it.
cool.
It was just really. I'm a fucking weirdo and
Yeah.
loser, so
Yeah, that's
No,
why
that
he's
sounds
here.
cool.
See,
this keeps me out of the sun.
But he was when I was 21, he was in his early 40s. He used to buy me beer. Well, before I was 21, he would buy me beer, and he was like, "Hey Tony, I saw you're doing a show," and I'm like, "All right, you could be on it." So I'm paying like every episode is to make up for a time he bought me beer when I was underage, and he did it a lot.
So we're gonna be doing.
I'm
this
actually
for a
You're
while.
shocked like episode 193, and you're just going to be like, you're done.
Yeah.
Never show up again.
Done. Also, I've reported you to the authority.
The officer's waiting for you outside.
And I'm like,
See you
wait.
later.
I'm like, wait for what thing? For buying you beer? Oh, I can handle that. It wasn't the other thing. All right, bye.
And the cops are like, "Go on about this other."
It's
thing."
like Jim Carrey from Yes Man when the cop pulls him over. It's like, do you know what you were doing? Well, it depends on when you pulled me over. And it's like, I was speeding. I did this. I did that.
It's the Married with Children where Al Bundy's trying to get arrested. And he's like, I killed a bunch of people and I ate them, but the cops won't take him.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, so I enjoy it. Like I said, 3 I didn't care for. Is 4 good?
4 was fun. It had Key and
I don't
Peele in it.
even
It had
remember.
Keanu Reeves in it.
The one thing I liked from the advertising for, I liked that the kid just glued googly eyes onto a spoon and then it came to life.
Yeah.
It was like a spork.
Yeah, and then like the thing is just like, I'm not a toy. I shouldn't exist. I'm like, that almost made me want to watch it. Like the sex is like where,
Okay, I do
where-
remember
where
that.
it's
No,
like
it's
the
good.
reverse. It's the reverse of Buzz, who's like, I am this. This thing wakes up. It's like, no, I am trash.
Yeah.
I shouldn't
It
live.
literally
kill-
tries to throw itself
Yeah.
out like multiple times.
Does it do like a Jeff Goldblum from The Fly? Just point a gun to its head? It's like, kill me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Is Gina Davis in the movie? Does
She should be. Gina Davis should just be in things again. What happened to Gina Davis, man?
She was in the Exorcist Fox TV show.
Really?
Season 1, which is now we're on The Exorcist. This show is all over the
Toy
place.
Story The Exorcist.
Season 1 of that show, I heard season 2 sucks. But season 1 is kind of self-contained. It is fucking great.
Really?
I was shocked it was on Fox.
It's on Hulu?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
If you like Exorcist, definitely watch that show.
Exorcist 3
awesome.
is my favorite of the series, though. So.
They said if they did a season 3, they would tie into that one.
Oh,
They never got a
really?
season 3.
Nobody likes
Yeah.
part 2.
Well, we reviewed the other Exorcist 3 on this channel.
Yes.
My good friend Newt. I'm like, hey, you know any Exorcist ripoffs from Italy? And he's like, yeah, here's this one. And he gave me one that he never actually watched. And I'm like, Newt, this movie is really bad. And he's like, oh, I've never seen it.
You made him sit
I just
through the
want to
whole
see if
thing.
they would do it. And he brought his friend, she's this Italian woman, and she goes to Italy and teaches people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, here's basically a 70s porn film. And she's like, what the fuck? I'm like, I didn't know it was like this.
I just wanted to see if they would actually do it. There's no quality control on this show, basically.
So, yes, check out Toy Story 2, unless you've been living under a rock and you've never seen it. It's fun. And thank you for joining. Who are you again, and where can we find you?
Brandon.
Hi,
Also
Brandon.
known as the Frustrated Gamer.
Oh.
Did we say your name once during this whole video?
We said
I don't think
frustrated
so.
gamer in the
In the
beginning.
beginning, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
Did
yeah,
we,
yeah,
did
I
we
thought
say
you meant
Brandon?
I don't think so. No,
Was
I
this
don't know if I introduced
I
myself.
don't think you did. You know what?
You've never been properly introduced?
Oh, no. Properly introduce you.
Turn the cameras off.
We're doing it
We're
again.
gonna start
All
over.
over.
We're gonna start over. All right. So the opening cutscene starts.
You know what's funny? I'm like, oh, wow, I don't think we did catch his name. We should have did like a whole Seinfeld when he can't remember the girl's name, so he's just trying to guess
Yeah.
it the entire episode. Mulva?
Jerry. It's like eventually
There
you
he
get it. I
is.
just
This
won't tell
guy.
you.
What's up, Chief?
What was her name? It rhymed with the female anatomy.
I don't know.
Dolores. Her name was Dolores. That was the
Oh.
twist. And then there was a great episode where he runs into her a few seasons later, and he wants to let her know that he does remember her name. He's like, "Yes, Dolores, I was engaged to Dolores, but unfortunately, like he's like now he's
it's way too much.
overcompensating."
Yeah.
So anyway, Mulva, where can we find you?
TFG vlogs. That's
Okay.
probably. So I did a little vlog about me being on the podcast.
Oh.
That's where you can really see me. If you go to
Okay.
the other channel, it's for a little slightly younger audience, video game stuff. TFG vlogs is where I do, real life stuff. So
Nice.
You'll see the podcast. You'll see the setup. I don't know if people have seen the setup, but I'll show it.
Yeah.
They haven't seen that one too much yet because that's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice studio, by the way.
Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate you guys for having me on.
No,
Thank
no,
you. I
thank
made
you.
it look better. Justin Silverman
Like by you
designed.
sitting here, or like you physically?
No,
made
I
it? Oh.
added a lot of stuff.
Gotcha.
to the
Don't
set.
don't give him that as ammunition because he's
Sorry.
gonna start saying that.
I added our shelf.
A famous person.
Yeah, a famous person said I look better in this seat.
Anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. You gotta say that. Us YouTubers.
Oh, we know. Yeah.
Like, share,
You
and
wouldn't
subscribe.
I
understand.
wouldn't understand.
Sorry, I just thought it'd be cool in front of them. But
We have a podcast feed now, which is just this show in podcast form. So
Yeah.
in case, a lot of people, this is kind of sad. A lot of people, they were driving
yeah.
and they were watching our videos.
That's
and
dangerous.
then sentient toys got into cones, and they were like, "What's Newt gonna say next?" And they were like, "Oh no!" And then they died. It was happening a lot.
Yeah, a
I
lot
don't know
of
why we
deaths,
have
I'm
so
sure,
many
yeah.
toys crossing the road causing accidents.
But if they're dead, they can't unsubscribe. So either
that
way,
is a benefit. But anyway, so we're like, let's make a podcast version so we can like lower the death count. So because
Yeah.
I don't want to be known as the most dangerous.
So what I used to do when I was commuting to my old job is I would have a podcast on YouTube. I would just let it play, but then I'd get to work and my phone would have 4% battery.
Exactly.
Didn't bring a charger. It was a horrible case. So podcast
feed,
the way to
wherever
go.
you get your podcasts, you go to hackmovies.com. And remember, our phone line is open.
Yes.
Please send us voicemails. We just got our new audio. We jumped the gun. We were like, hey guys, for the podcast version of the show, we're gonna listen to your voicemails, and then all our audio equipment broke. But we
Again,
will be doing it
We don't
soon.
know how it broke.
So you bought a
though.
brand new rotary phone from
We bought a brand new rotary phone. Yeah.
So you can call our phone line, leave us a lot of voicemails, and I personally will go through every single voicemail and listen to it and categorize it. I listen to everything you say. I definitely don't make someone else
Poor
do it.
intern.
Please don't be too weird when you call.
Yeah.
Please.
We've heard a couple weird ones.
Anyway, that was it from us. Goodbye.
Bye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.